Good day, Doctor. We're from Group 18, and our team is Infrastructure and Facilities for Persons with Disabilities in Public Transportation. We have visited two LRT stations, which is the LRT KL Central and the LRT University. So, persons with disabilities or orang kurang upaya in Malaysia face barriers in public transportation that limit mobility and participation in society. This issue is compounded by low public awareness and the increasing need for accessible transport near university campuses. In 2023, there are 736,607 registered PWD in Malaysia, which is equivalent to 2.2% of our population. Therefore, our objective is to assess the accessibility and usability of LRT stations, identify gaps and limitations, and highlight the need for continuous improvement.
This slide summarizes our field observation at LRT University and LRT KL Central, focusing on physical facility, accessibility, social condition, and safety. Physically, both stations provide escalator and lift. However, LRT University escalator only go up, while lift at KL Central are available but very slow. In terms of accessibility, LRT University has incomplete texture paving, whereas KL Central has better texture path but lack indicator for escalator direction. Both stations provide OKU toilet. Socially, LRT University is less crowded while KL Central is very busy, which can make movement difficult for disabled users. For safety, issues include toilet location and blocked pathway at LRT University, and crowd-related risks at KL Central. Although police sensor and CCTV help improve safety. Thank you.
Before visiting LT University and LT KL Central, I thought accessibility was mainly about having the right facilities like lifts, OKU toilets, and tactile paving. The observation changed that, and I realized accessibility depends on whether these features are continuous, placed safely, and supported by good management. At LT University, the biggest surprise was the tactile paving. It exists, but it becomes unclear halfway, which could confuse visually impaired users. The toilet also felt unsafe because the women's toilet are far back and isolated. Even though there's a lift, the escalators only go up, so going down depends on stairs or waiting. Later, the parking area showed another issue. Motorcycles sometimes block the tactile path, proving that enforcement and public behavior can undo good design. At KL Central, the tactile paving is more complete and facilities are cleaner, but the station's crowd create new barriers. Escalators for the same line go in different directions, and there are no tactile indicators to guide blind users. The lift was also very slow, which makes movement harder for wheelchair users and others who depend on it. Overall, I learned that urban spaces can look accessible but still fail in real use. Small design gaps, unsafe placement, crowd pressure, and poor control of shared space can turn basic travel into stressful experience for people with disabilities.
Okay, so after listening to the field observation summaries and reflection, let us move on to the economic analysis. First is the inaccessible public transport harms growth and social welfare. This is because when people with disabilities have to increase their time and cost to travel for employment and services, this shows a poor economic growth is happening. For example, lack of escalators and tactile paths at LRT University makes travel time longer and physical efforts greater. Next, poverty trap. How can it happen? For example, at LRT KL Central, overcrowding, slow lift, and missing indicators for the escalator's direction pose risks and uncertainties for impaired users. So, this shows the restricted mobilities block access to human capital formations and to the labour market. It also cuts the income and keeps the long-term disadvantages alive. And third, inequalities. We can observe that the users' percentage for people with disabilities and others shows a large gap between them. So, when PWDs can use public transport like others, this will enhance society and long-term economic benefits for everyone.
For policy discussion, our key issue is the gap between policy and implementation. Although Malaysia has the Person with Disability Act 2008 and the National Transport Policy 2019 to 2030, accessibility on the ground remains uneven. This is clear from our observation at LRT University and LRT KL Central, even though both stations are on the same LRT line. KL Central is more accessible because it's a major transport hub and receives more upgrades and maintenance. In contrast, LRT University has incomplete tactile paths, limited escalator access, and poorly located OKU toilets. This shows that accessibility depends more on the station importance and budget priority rather than consistent policy enforcement. To strengthen policy impact, we propose allocating around 100 million ringgit to upgrade accessibility across 50 to 60 LRT stations in Klang Valley. Funding should be distributed fairly, so all stations meet basic accessibility standards, not only high traffic hubs. This should be supported by annual audits under national standards. In conclusion, accessible transport should be viewed not as a welfare spending but as a growth-enhancing investment that improves mobility, inclusion, and long-term economic welfare.
In conclusion, accessibility remains uneven despite existing policies. LRT KL Central is generally more accessible due to better facilities, but challenges such as overcrowding and unclear signage still affect usability. In contrast, LRT University does not fully meet the needs of PWD users with incomplete tactile paving, poor facility layout, and increased safety risks. Overall, inaccessible transport limits access to education, employment, and essential services, leading to long-term inequality. Therefore, consistent implementation, proper maintenance, and sustained investment are crucial to achieving inclusive public transport and supporting sustainable urban growth. Thank you for listening.